1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, welcome back to Country and Cold Cans. I'm Logan, sitting here with Chuck, Randy, and Kyle. And be sure to give us 5 stars and a great review on Spotify and Apple Podcast. And click the link in the description that says click here to leave us a voicemail with any music recommendations, any questions, any comments. That's the place to hit us. We'll respond to you next week. Check out the blog, coldcansnetwork.com. And then check out the brand new website for our hats and t-shirts for Country and Cold Cans. That is coldcanshatco.com. A lot of new releases for hats and t-shirts. Check that out at coldcanshatco.com. All right, boys, we're back here. We released our top 5 favorite records a couple weeks ago of the year of 2023, kicking off 2024 with some new songs. One of them is from a couple years ago, but it's from an artist that we haven't heard of. The rest of them are all new releases. But before we get into that, did you guys see that Charles Wesley Godwin was on Joe Rogan the other day?
Did big news for him. I haven't listened to it, but Joe said him, Zach Bryan. Am I missing somebody?
I want to say he had Sturgill on years ago.
Yeah, he did have Sturgill on years ago. He's Coulter Wall as well, a few years ago.
No, I don't.
No,
he's never had.
I don't think he ever got Coulter. He wants Coulter,
okay.
but he can't get him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because he's too busy ranching.
Yeah.
It was a good interview. It was kind of cool hearing, just Chuck's insights on things and like his career, like trajectory he's been on, and then just kind of like how they weathered the pandemic. He was saying that at one point during the height of the lockdowns and, artists weren't able to tour, he said that he was like running out of money to pay his band and everything. And they all agreed to take half pay in order so they could stay with him and not have to go get jobs with other bands and everything. And they were able to weather through. And then, they just toured on the road with Zach Bryan for 2 years and just kind of hit that next level touring wise. And then he was saying that, it's about helping each other and talking about how a lot of artists these days are kind of better about that. And he was saying that he had Wyatt Flores open for him one time, and he goes, and trust me, that wasn't going to be for long, because he said that guy's on a whole nother level on his trajectory. He told Wyatt just to make sure you remember me when you're headlining arenas. Let me open for you.
The humbleness is nice to hear.
Yeah, Charles Wesley Godwin seems like a really good dude.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to sit down and talk with the guy. He the Rogan bump's a real thing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
like he's
no
going to
doubt.
have a huge increase because of this.
Oh yeah, there's tens of thousands of people that have never heard of him that are now checking his stuff out.
Oh yeah.
Minimum.
Which would be huge for him. Like, those numbers are going to go through the roof. Probably sell more tickets as a result.
Yeah, was he? What do you reckon, Joe? Averages 2-3 million listens a podcast?
No, I heard at one point it was at like 16 million a podcast.
Wow! Oh wow!
I don't have a Jamie to fact check me on that, but that's the number I've seen thrown about for like downloads.
Yeah, I'm not like a huge Joe Rogan fan. I listen to him. There's like really interesting people. I flag them.
I'm not every
always
episode
there.
JRE guy either, but I do listen to people I like.
Yeah, I'm always there for the Alex Jones interviews. They are hilarious.
Those are hilarious.
Those are hilarious.
He
Like,
gets
the
him.
fact-
He gets him smoking weed on there, and it's hilarious.
Yeah. And the fact that he had him on there for 9/11, episode 9/11, was hilarious to me. Yeah.
Google for your numbers. Google says 11 million per episode and over
Wow.
200 million downloads a month.
Wow.
Yeah, that's insane, man. No wonder that Spotify's paying him $30 million a year.
Yeah, good for him. Wow. That's a lot.
Have y'all ever gone and how it filters podcasts with the newest first? If you ever filter it oldest first, they have almost every episode he's ever done, and it's all in video form, going back to 2009 on Spotify with video.
So they ripped
And
them all out. Yeah, that's a lot of work.
Dude, I went back just through some of the ones from 2009, picking some episodes, watching a couple minutes for 2009, 2010, and then 2011. You progressively see the show get better, but when it started, it was absolutely terrible. Like, Andy, our first shows on this show were infinitely better than what Joe Rogan's were with his first and second episodes. On episode 1, he and Brian Redband spent 10 minutes basically just messing with stuff and is like, is the audio working? Are we on? Can you guys hear us?
That makes,
dude.
I mean,
It's insane how much
YouTube
better it
was
is now.
new in 09, wasn't it? That's
Came
when
out in
YouTube came
05.
out, wasn't it? Or something like
05.
that?
No, it was like
05.
05, but Google had acquired it by 09.
Like, that's the internet as we know it today in its infancy.
Yeah, I think they were running some type of like separate stream, and they had like people asking live Twitter questions at the time. Like, don't get me wrong. Now Rogan got the idea from Adam Carolla. Adam Carolla was the guy who kind of like was the godfather of the mainstream podcast. But Adam Carolla took a different approach. He took all of his radio crew and just did a radio show, but in podcast form. But then when Rogan started, his was just like him and his friends sitting around. In the first few episodes, they didn't even have like podcast mics. They were just sitting there talking, and the production value was terrible relative to what you see now. And then you have like a lot of these guys that have been on, the comedians that have been on the show, like Bert Kreischer. It was on the show early on like that too. It was kind of cool to see, but Rogan himself has talked about how much better they've gotten since then. It's not even close as night and day.
I enjoyed the Save Our Parks episodes where they all just get shit canned.
Yeah, was it Ari and Normand and Shane Gillis?
Yeah. Oh god, dude, Shane Gillis
Ari
is
Shafir
hilarious.
and Mark Normand. Oh yeah, Shane Gillis is hilarious. I highly recommend his Netflix special. Came out about 3 months ago.
Yeah, they're hilarious. And then Ari Shafir is just shit faced, passed out, middle of the episode.
One of the more recent ones, they got Rogan like absolutely trashed. They recorded for 6 hours and were only able to use like 2.5 of it.
Yeah, because at the end of it, he's slurring so bad.
Yeah, they said they had Rogan throwing up afterwards.
I didn't know how long some of that like stuff been around. I didn't realize Kill Tony's been going on for 10 years.
Oh yeah, I've been watching a lot of that lately. I just discovered that podcast from Tony Hinchcliffe.
I did too. I've been watching
Kind
it
of funny.
lately.
Me too.
I didn't know who he was. I think he's a big pro wrestling guy, isn't he?
Huge pro
I'm
wrestling
almost
guy.
certain of that. Yeah.
Dude, you ought to see the episode. It's like, it's not even funny. It's actually kind of sad. Then when they had Ric Flair on there, he was on there with like Ari and Normand and Gillis, and Ric Flair was up there and was like hammered when he showed up because they had been drinking all day. Then Ric Flair had 2 more beers and then just did not need to be on camera. Ric Flair stormed off middle of the podcast because either he forgot or he didn't understand what the point of the show was. And Kyle, are you familiar with Kill Tony?
I've heard of it. I've never watched it.
So yeah, like for those that maybe don't know, like Tony Hinchcliffe, stand-up comedian, has guests that come on. It's in front of a live audience at a comedy club, and they draw names out of a hat and let people come up and do 60 seconds of stand-up, and then they interview them. And the whole point of the show is like when people do bad, and most people do, they kind of like roast the guys, right? Roast the people up there doing a minute. And I think Flair was so drunk he either forgot or didn't know what the point of the show was. And Flair got mad because they were making fun of a high school wrestling coach for how bad he did. And then Flair stood up with the microphone and said, "I already told y'all there's no humor in insulting people. I'm going to leave right after this." He goes, "But I will never, ever make fun of someone who donates their time to help kids." And then he just storms off. And he was like slurring his words, not making sense. And I was like, dude, this is like sad to watch. I was like, I love Ric Flair. I was like, I could have gone without seeing that.
Yeah, but
I
it's
watched
just like
part of that the other day.
it's like what they say about radio. Like confrontational radio is the best radio. Like when the hosts go at each other and make really awkward moments, makes for the best radio. Probably the same in podcast.
Yeah, and it would especially that one's like, that's not even like a traditional podcast. They're in front of a live audience. It's like packed in a comedy club. They're putting on a show for a live audience there where they're making fun of people. It's the point of the show.
Yeah.
And that can get out of hand. Sometimes they are shit canned up there.
Oh yeah.
I've
seen
seen
Shane
one
Gillis
like
up there
Rogan.
hammered.
Like Rogan came up. They said like he missed half of it because he was so drunk, and he
That
showed
was
up
from
there
after the
barely
Protect Our
even
Parks episode.
aware of what's going on. Was it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was after
He's
their
like-
Protect Our Parks episode when he got wasted.
My favorite one's when Shane Gillis is up there and he's like, "I know everything about this guy," and just answers all the questions for the guy correctly.
The one with the Yvonne was funny too. I watched that last night. Theo just like was a lot nicer than a lot of the dudes are, but Theo just was typical Theo on a podcast. Just saying like crazy stuff. It was quite funny.
It's like Andy's leprechaun story.
Yeah. That's still Andy. I told that story on 3 different shows that week. When you told me about it, it got a huge laugh out of everybody. Everybody loves that story.
It is funny.
It just doesn't sound real. But now we did have a little bit of like Twitter controversy with CWG going on Joe Rogan, right? There wasn't, it got blown out of proportion, admittedly, by people. And we commented on our Twitter too about it because I'm just like, this is ridiculous. That I did see a handful of people mad at Charles Wesley Godwin for going on JRE. Like saying they can't believe he did that. There's more reputable people that he could have gone to go talk to. You know, the people that it's like the most insufferable people on the internet that are constantly online. But it's like I think I had tweeted something that the folks that are upset about this just need to go outside and touch grass because this is ridiculous. Like it's the same thing as like people. There were a smaller group of people that were mad at Turnpike for going on Jimmy Kimmel. They can screw off too because like big opportunities for both musical outfits. I don't blame them one bit. Now I will say both got blown out of proportion where it got to be, and we contributed to this admittedly. But it got to be where more people were talking about people being mad about it than actually were mad about it. However, there were people that initially were mad talking trash about these guys going on those particular shows.
Oh, I don't even think. Go ahead, Andy.
Who do these people like? What are they okay with them going on? And like, why can't he go on Rogan? Like, do they just anti anybody that goes on Rogan?
Basically, there are a lot of people. There are people out there that just hate Joe Rogan, right? And they just like he just spreads misinformation. Losers is what they are. Nobody's sitting there going to Joe Rogan for all the as they would say medical advice. You know, getting their information from Dr. Joe Rogan, as they always like to say. It's just people that are losers. Is what it comes down to. It was a big opportunity for Charles Wesley Godwin to go on JRE. Like Kyle said, me and Kyle are in the same
15 million downloads.
Yeah, hell yeah,
it's 11. A huge job. 11. Yeah, excuse me.
It's a huge opportunity. You can't turn that down. I mean, it doesn't make any sense there. On the same token, and look, admittedly, it's the people on the crazy far left on Twitter that got mad about it, but it's also the crazy far right that got mad, like I said, about Turnpike going on Jimmy Kimmel. Those guys need to go out there and touch grass too, because that's ridiculous as well. Going to play the late night shows, still kind of a big deal. It's not as big of a deal as it probably was 30 years ago, but it's still kind of a big deal.
Wasn't that the second time Turnpike's done that?
Probably.
Oh, I don't even, what I was going to say was when I sent that to you, because I don't watch Jimmy Kimmel or Fallon or any of the rest of them. Frankly, I don't find many of them funny.
Right.
They all use the same jokes, you know. But I even said when I sent the reel to you guys, I was like, oh, that's pretty big for them. Because,
oh, yeah.
I mean, not many people our age and under the age of probably 40 watch broadcast television really anymore, other than live sports. But there's an assload of people over the age of 40 that still watch that every night. Saturday Night Live, the late shows, you know, the broadcast news. And hey, I mean, that's huge for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's still big exposure. Like you said, it ain't as much as it used to be, but it's still big exposure, and it's still kind of a big deal. I mean, you can't blame them for that, and you can't blame Charles Wesley Godwin for going on Joe Rogan. I mean, anybody, if they're being honest, would go on Joe Rogan. Like, you're talking about 11 million in an episode. You'd be crazy not to.
He's the biggest podcast in the world.
Yeah, he's the biggest platform in the world, arguably. Like, he gets more listens than all the big cable news shows combined.
Yeah. And like I said, there's been plenty of people that
in a time slot.
Yeah, and there's plenty of people on Rogan. I just read the description. I have no idea who they are. I listen to them if they sound interesting, and I know who they are.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I don't listen to. Yeah. I mean, really, he will. Like, I don't listen to the level
of Theo, but practically anybody.
Yeah, he hasn't quite gotten a garbage man or a sex worker yet, like Theo Vaughn did. But
I didn't know he did that.
Yeah, Theo, I do kind of commend him for some of that, where he gets like a interesting regular dude or gal who has a regular job. Like he's had a police officer, he's had a what's the people
Mortician.
that the mortician, yeah. And it's like it's actually not a bad interview. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, Theo is. Yeah, I could see him doing that. He seems pretty. He is who he is in his own skin. There's nothing like fake about him. If that makes sense.
I think he's hilarious, dude. I love his podcast this past weekend.
Yeah, he's absolutely hilarious. Some of the clips, man, the ones I love are when they dub Star Wars with Theo Vaughn. Oh my God, they're hilarious. And they work so well.
Yeah, it really does. It's quite good. But let us know what you think. Did you have a problem, Charles Wesley Godwin, going on the Joe Rogan Experience? Leave us a voicemail. We'd love to hear either a reason why or a reason why you didn't. I thought it was a bit crazy that there were people that got mad about it. But like I said, to be fair, it did get a little bit overblown. It wasn't as many people as probably people were led to believe. But come on, get over yourself. You'd go on Joe Rogan too. Yeah, touch grass. So
calm down.
Yeah, was that I've never heard this one, admittedly, but like that Taylor Swift song, "You Need to Calm Down." I think that's the title of it. But
is that a song? I think
it is.
Oh.
But
speaking of Taylor Swift, they made the big hoodoo about her at the Chiefs game this weekend.
Yeah.
Shout out to the 49ers fullback, Kyle Juszczyk, just shouting at his wife on literally every comment there was, "My wife made that jacket. My wife made that jacket."
I saw a video of how his wife, like a time-lapse video, how his wife made the video or made the jacket. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, she made him out of Nike jerseys, puffed him up, made a puff coat out of him.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet, yeah. I just thought it was really cool. They literally, like, you would see Taylor Swift and then you would see, like, all the Taylor Swift influencers, if that's a thing. And he was just on every one of them. My wife made that. My wife made that. Shout out to him. Repping his wife. Thought that was funny.
Yeah, I know. That guy, he definitely scored some brownie points with his wife over that one.
Shout out to him.
She's a talented lady because, those jackets were sick.
Yeah. And it was hilarious to watch them try to do the Taylor Swift sky cam or whatever, and the windows just fogged up and you couldn't see shit. I thought it was hilarious.
The NFL, we've talked about it. We don't need to go down the rabbit hole again, but the NFL is going a bit overboard with Taylor Swift coverage. But
it's a psyop, yeah.
Yeah. But all right, well, let's get into the song roundup this week. We're starting off with the oldest song of the group. Most of them are new releases, but this first one is not. This first one is from a band that I just discovered. And this is from their LP they released 2 years ago. And it was in 2021. Their name is Hooks and the Huckleberries. And it's a song called So Far Gone.
And I'm so far gone. I can see a light at the end of the tunnel, but the tunnel is so damn long. Sometimes I don't think that I'm ever gonna reach it, so I keep myself moving on, scratching at the ceiling, searching for a reason, searching for a meaning to keep holding on.
So yeah, this is a newer band that I found recently. I don't even remember how I found them, but I discovered them on Spotify. It may have been TikTok. And this band they're not a TikTok band, Andy. I think they followed us on TikTok, and I followed them
I
back.
just don't like TikTok.
Dude, you act like you're 70. Like I don't love TikTok either, but we've got the most followers of all of our social media accounts on that one, so I'm not gonna trash it, but so much. But anyways, Hooks and the Huckleberries, man. This sound is pretty indicative. It varies a little bit from what you get from them for the rest of their music, but this is right up my alley sonically, and I love this guy's voice. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Vandelier's lead singer's voice in some ways, but like this song in particular, I felt was pretty accessible for someone who hadn't heard their music yet. So I wanted to send it to you guys, get y'all's thoughts, because like I said, so far, what I've heard, so far gone, really dig it. Love the sound of this, and I really like this guy's vocal. This kind of mesh of country and rock is my idea of like the perfect marriage of blending genres. So I give it a big thumbs up for me. Andy, what say you?
I agree with everything you said, except for I will change it. I think his vocals sound like lead singer 49 Winchester.
I could see that a little bit. Kyle?
Logan, it's funny you say this. First, I would like to go to their artist page. The old Ford Econoline van, awesome.
That's the newest single, by the way. It's a good song. You should check it out.
Yeah, they're pictured in front of like a 90s or early 2000s Econoline van. Awesome picture. When I heard this, I'm going to just start here. I said, yeah, I see why Logan threw it in there. This is a Logan D. Berry-ass song.
I knew he was going to say that.
I knew he was too.
The reason it sounded that way to me is that they sound like Matchbox 20 with a little bit of country flair.
You think so?
I think so.
I don't hear that.
I don't hear that either.
As soon as I heard it, they sounded
Here's
like
Kyle with another out of left field take.
They sound.
Kenny Stats from Tailgate Season listens to this one because he's had some things to say about some of your rock takes.
Well, Kenny doesn't know rock music if it slapped him upside the face. No, I mean, I even went and listened to Matchbox 20 this afternoon. I was like, yeah, I can kind of hear it. This was the first thing that popped in my head.
Are you saying like vocally?
Not
you think
so much
he sounds
vocally.
like Rob Thomas?
No, more like sonically with like a little bit of a country flair to it. Not so much vocally.
I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sure if I'm with you on that one, but
It's the first thing that popped in my head.
Andy, what do you think?
No, I don't hear it. I hear more of
I don't hear Winchester.
I hear more like roots rock sonically.
I hear what genre is Rob Baer considered?
Like kind of like that Americana roots rock, which is what these guys kind of are. Yeah,
like indie Texas. I think I just made that up.
Yeah, indie Texas. I don't even know if these guys are from Texas or not. To be truthful,
they're from New Mexico.
Are they? Okay.
And I don't know off the top of my head, I don't know of any other bands from New Mexico.
I don't either.
Mm-hmm. No, off the top of my head, no.
How about their name though? It's a pretty fire name. Hooks and the Huckleberries.
Is one of their last name Hook?
Yeah. The lead singer's last name is Hook.
Okay, I figured that. Huckleberries.
If I was a band, I would definitely want to be the Huckleberries. Solely because of Doc Holliday from Tombstone.
Oh yeah. That's immediately what came to my mind too. Like this is just one. I'm a grammar nerd, so the alliteration here I love with the H sounds at the beginning of Hooks and Huckleberry. But it's just a cool name. Cool name, cool band. I've been enjoying what I've heard from them. We need to probably dive into some more of their stuff. Maybe we'll have we should have done with Treaty Oak a while back, Andy, well past due music review.
Yeah, the last band that we were 2 years late on was pretty damn high.
Pretty true. We were late as we could be, and compared to the kids out there, but they've made their way up the charts of our favorite bands. But that's so far gone, Hooks and the Huckleberry. All right, now let's get it into a more mainstream kind of band here with a new one from Midland called Up in Texas.
Ain't been away till you wake up in Texas. You ain't felt heartbreak till you break up in Texas. The best songs, the best bars, and you ain't seen stars till you look up in Texas. Out of 10, it's 11, but even in heaven, they say up in Texas.
So nobody loves to talk about their own state more than people from Texas, but I kind of like this song because I think it's pretty funny. Not in the funny and the like laughing at it. I'm more just kind of like I like the way it's how it's written. It's kind of listing things from Texas, but it sounds so damn good. Like this is that country sound that I really like. And then the next verse before we cut it off before we got to it, I really like where it said they made Lonesome Dove in it. Willie found his luck in it. Underneath come and take it flag. Billy Graham prayed for it. Jerry Jones paid for it. It's hard to talk about and not brag. That just kind of, encapsulates the way a lot of Texans on on Twitter and everything are about their state. But I like this song. Kyle, what say you?
I'm conflicted. I love Midland, but also I feel like I've heard this song 1,000 times before.
It's because you have.
Yes. So, it's
Texans love to sing about themselves.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to them, but they do.
Oh yeah, I mean they're probably the one state that doesn't identify as Americans. They identify as Texans.
Yeah, they're Texans first, Americans second.
Yeah, but it's nothing new. It has, like you said, it has one really clever, funny verse. I mean, it sounds fantastic. Midland sounds fantastic, but like I said, I've heard this 1,000 times.
Oh, 100%. This isn't anything new by any means.
Yeah.
I will say I kind of like the armadillo with wings as the cover art. But Andy, what do you think?
Yeah.
I'm good, pretty much with Kyle. I mean, Texas is different. Texas is cool, but it ain't that great.
Yeah. We ain't from Texas, so we don't quite have the same love affair with the state that the people that were from there do.
It ain't Kansas, am I right, Andy?
Yeah, Andy's like, it ain't Kansas.
Something different. It ain't Kansas. I mean, I'm conflicted 'cause Texas is cool, but like, I don't know. I might be
going
through
Ember,
Lukenbach.
Kansas, is it, Andy?
Like, I might be going through Lukenbach like on Thursday or something. I'm like, well, that's cool, Lukenbach, Texas. You hear songs about it, but that's about it. Texas ain't that great. It ain't that different in Oklahoma.
Old shot there.
Ooh, okay. Well, it's about what I expected from you guys on that one. I don't disagree with you. That's why I prefaced it. Yeah, here's another song about the state of Texas by somebody from Texas. It's Midland with Up in Texas. All right, next up, bringing back that sweet 1990s neo-trad sound. This one, an upbeat affair from Randall King with Could Have Been Love.
Could have been love, could have been forever. Guess I'll never know. Some fools never learn when not to run. Dang it, old son, it could have been love.
This song right here reminds me of something that I could hear Alan Jackson or George Strait singing when I was growing up. And then just the whole kind of like halfway tongue-in-cheek lamenting the fact that he let a good one get away. He's sitting there, this one could have been love. Kyle, I know this is up your alley. What'd you think?
Oh, hey, man. This, whatever we call it, is still classified as a single, even though it has 5 or 6 songs on it. I don't know how that works, but I guess.
Don't get too upset about how streaming works.
I don't.
Let that bother you too much.
It does. It deeply bothers me. It started as an A-side, B-side. Now it's 6 songs on it, and we're still calling it a single. And then tomorrow,
it's gonna make it to 10, and it'll be an album.
No, tomorrow it'll be one more song, and it'll be an EP. And I'm gonna be even more annoyed because they added one song and made it an EP. But
don't let that distract you from you like the song.
Oh, I love the song. It is probably my least favorite on this single, in air quotes. Every one of them are bangers. God, I love Randall King. I think 2 years ago he was in my top 3 albums of the year. Can't remember which one it was, but yeah. Me and you are in the same boat. Andy's probably gonna hate it because he hates real country music, but
he especially hates that wonderful era that we all look back on with so much fondness, the 1990s. Andy,
yes.
How was Could Have Been Love by Randall King in Trucker Andy's book?
Oh no, I love this song.
Oh,
it's
surprising.
It's not even necessarily like the song. To me, Randall King has kind of like I would say the same thing about Riley Green. It's more Randall King, but I think more Randall King is probably better than more Riley Green.
He has variety.
I get what you're saying.
Randall King just puts out bangers. So I'm nowhere near the fan of Randall King that Kyle is. But I saw he was playing somewhere the other week, and I was like, I would love to go to one of his shows because I bet that's just a ripping good time.
I want to say he's playing Charlotte in February.
Live. I think you're
February
correct.
or March, one of the two. I think it's February.
Ooh, tickled my fancy.
It might be the week after we go see Muscadine and American Aquarium. So if you boys want to pack up 2 weeks in a row, go down to Charlotte, See Randall King at Coyote Joe's.
Yeah, it tickled my fancy. Yeah, Randall King's phenomenal, man.
I love his sound, man. That
listen-
neo-traditional 90s country sound, especially when he gets an up-tempo kind of honky-tonk kind of vibe. But this one, like I said, this sounds like an Alan Jackson, takes me back kind of thing here.
I could listen to him sing the phone book.
It's that production, dude. It's so good. I'm with you on that. But Randall King could have been love. All right, next up, let's go from a little bit of the slicker sound of the neo-traditional 90s country to a little bit more raw, a little bit more rough. And another guy that we are a fan of from Josh Malloy, he's got a new song called Lightning.
And before too long, you ain't the one she dreams about. And before too long, flaming stars flicker out. She'll try to hide it, say she still loves you, but you can't see it in her eyes. They don't sparkle like they used to. They don't shine. Lightning don't strike twice.
So in very Josh Malloy style, it's kind of stripped back. His vocal isn't as smooth as like a Randall King's by any means. This song, I like the way the hook of the song, the name of the song, Lightning, was used because I didn't see it coming this way. Where it's just saying if you are sitting there and you stop trying in a relationship, and then eventually she detaches, she leaves, and then you just can't save it because lightning don't strike twice. I really liked that turn of phrase there. Andy, what do you think?
I actually completely agree with you, but the song's not new. This came out in 2020.
Oh, did it?
This off his album 2020.
Oh, well.
I think it came up in
screw
mine,
up on my
too.
part. Came up in my release radar.
I think it came up in mine, but like when you look at the album cover, like I've seen that album cover before, and I checked it. It's on the album. Give you the name of the album? It's Oklahoma. Came out May 1st, 2020.
Well, this was ultimately my fault. However, I blame
Spotify.
Because they put it in my release radar. I'm looking at it right now.
He could have re-released it.
Could have. It probably was something like that. Maybe it's going to be on an upcoming project. I don't know.
Well, thank you for Andy, a.k.a. Jamie, for fact-checking us.
Yeah,
fantastic.
You liked it?
Yeah. Chorus was fantastic.
Yeah, I liked it too.
It's a little bit of sad boy country, but it's not. It doesn't have a down to the dumps vibe to it, which to me is kind of hard to pull off. It, sad songs we all love, but sad songs with a little bit of upbeat, not drinking yourself to death at a bar.
Yeah, Andy, I'm seeing here that it was released on an album in 2023 as well. And this must be like a single release from the record.
I hate this. I hate all of this.
Well, Kyle, that's how it works when an album's released. They release singles to, in his case, it'd be regional radio in Texas, Oklahoma. That's how that works. That's not new. That's not streaming.
I hate this.
We need to do
why can't we just release it once?
We need to let Kyle do a rant on Patreon about Kyle's rules of streaming.
I mean, my rules are simple. All right, we have an A side, B side. Okay. You can get away with that. Then you put it on an EP. That's fine. Okay. When we start having 6, 7 side singles, and then it's the same thing repackaged 3 months later. Now it's an EP.
No. This is a single release from an already released album.
Yes. That's
not new.
I know, but it still annoys me because it fooled us. We thought it was a new song.
It fooled me because it was in my release radar. But
I'm somewhat questioning here on Spotify because mine is saying he didn't put anything out in 2023. I don't think that's correct.
The album Oklahoma says released December 21st, 2023.
Mine says May 1st, 2020.
Oh, well, mine says I can screenshot it. Screenshot yours and let's compare it.
Let's
we'll
talk about
see
what mine says.
Yeah, mine says Porch Light was 2022, and I'm pretty sure Porch Light was 2023.
I don't know.
Maybe Spotify's jipping us.
Could be. They're giving us all different shit.
Mine says Porch Light 2022.
That's what mine says. And I don't
What about
think
the
that was
album
2022.
Oklahoma? Kyle, look that up. The album Oklahoma. When
2020.
did it? Why does mine say in 2023? It's weird.
Yeah, Washington
sending y'all the
Street
screenshot.
already did. Yeah.
We're getting some of that. I know he put something out last year.
See, I'm sending y'all a screenshot right there. December 21st, 2023. It's weird. Either way, we won't be able to get down to the bottom of it tonight.
If I go from my release radar and click on it via there, it says 2023.
That's what I'm talking about.
But
It's
if I
just
go-
a mess. They have
But if
ruined it.
If I search Josh Malloy, it comes up 2020. And I know that wasn't 2023 because Met the Devil in Oklahoma was 2020.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have just ruined record keeping of music.
They did.
You can say, all right,
Yeah, it says
When did the
2020
cho-
when you search him. May
if you
1st,
asked
2020.
me-
That's
if
so
you-
weird, man.
If you asked me when did the chocolate starfish and the hot dog flavored water came out, I would say 1999. But now it could be 1991, 1999, 2003 re-release. We can't have any concrete dates. Just
Yeah.
infuriating.
That is
Sorry,
the downside to the upside of us having access to more artists than we ever have, I guess.
Excuse me, 2000, I think. Significant Other was 99.
I would tell you to look it up on Spotify, but who knows if it's right.
Yeah.
But that's Lightning
That's just annoyed.
by Josh Malloy. All right, final song of the song roundup. Another one from Josh Abbott Band. Who knows if this one's new? I'm confused now with my release radar, but it was in my release radar, so we're listening to it. It's called She'll Always Be.
She's a wildflower growing up through the cracks in the concrete. She's a wildflower, wild and free. She'll always be.
So, admittedly, I will say this one isn't my favorite from this group of songs, but I would say I classify this as being very solid Josh Abbott Band stuff. It's pretty easy listening, easy on the ears. I kind of like it. It's very kind of mellow song. Has a little bit of a melancholy feel in the vocal about this girl, being too wild to tame, so to speak. She's going to be on her way. I like it. I don't love it, but I like it. Andy, what about you?
It's kind of boring to me, but which I would say is bad to say, but I mean, Josh Abbott's early 2010s Texas royalty, probably. That I'm not big on Josh Abbott in general. They kind of bore me. They got their moments, but other than that, boring, and this is just boring.
I don't think he's ever topped his duet with Casey Musgraves years ago. I really did like that one a lot.
I like
before she got
She Likes Texas.
popular. She Likes Texas, solid. But yeah, I'm with you now. Of the big guys from that era, Andy, from when we first kind of started listening to Texas country, they are not my favorite. I like them, but I don't love them.
They don't have that Texas flair, the grit,
It seems to be a little bit more easy on the ears. Yeah, it does. It doesn't.
They don't
the
have
kind of
that
gritty
razzle
feel.
dazzle.
It ain't like they don't have that same it factor that drew me to Randy Rogers Band.
Yeah.
Kyle?
I will give Josh Abbott Band some credit since you two have been very harsh on him. Josh Abbott Band convinced Carter that there is music outside of the 1980s.
That's true.
Which to me is a very hard-earned and well-earned accomplishment. He did like the Josh Abbott Band we played for him, and Carter has not liked much of anything we've ever played for him. So they should take that as a true accomplishment. For me, I'm with Andy. I don't really know if I'm ever in the mood to listen to something that's so chill. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No, it makes sense.
I have two spectrums. I either want to speed and blow my speakers out, or I want to listen to sad things. And there's not really much in between with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's pretty much me.
I never
What?
I never have a chill playlist. I'm not 16 anymore trying to woo a woman, you know.
There are some like chill kind of stuff I like. I'm not. I guess doesn't always have to be as in your face.
Oh, mine go in your face, or you know, we're taking antidepressants. There is no between. Sometimes they blur the lines. They're in your face and they're telling you to take antidepressants. So I'm here for it. But
Yeah.
But I don't think Josh Abbott band needs our praises. I think they have plenty of people to praise them.
Oh yeah. No,
Yes.
definitely.
Numbers don't lie.
Look, I like Josh Abbott, man. I just don't love Josh Abbott, man. If that makes sense. And I actually think Josh Abbott seems like a cool guy. I like their music, but don't love their music. But there's a lot of artists that fall in that category for me. But since that was too chill, we're gonna have a bonus song here at the last minute that I think
boy.
Kyle's gonna absolutely love. Here
this
it
is
is.
interesting. Oh my god!
Somebody
Fuck you
wrote
for
quit
this.
on a napkin. I took it out of my tip jar laughing. Like, damn, what an asshole, man. I'm just a flat broke boy with a guitar asking for anybody to pay attention. It's not like anybody paid admission. I was just wishing.
Isn't this what
somebody
you
would
like, though,
listen.
that rap
Give me a
rock?
shot. And I ain't talking about Canadian Miss them. Florida, Georgia put me on the map. Morgan put me
No,
on the
this is
track.
not rap
Fucked
rock.
around and pinned a couple hits. Chucked them out to see if they react.
sounds like it.
Talked about the way I like.
All right, so that's the new Hardy song, just a part of it. Quit.
I said that was
And-
trash.
As has been documented on this show, we all consider ourselves Hardy fans. However, when he wrote this song and they listened to it, they should have taken the song title's advice and just quit on this track because this song is just not good.
Isn't it? It's basically if Rednecker was being serious in a rap song that NF did.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. This one, look, and at the same time, Hardy does not give a shit what we have to say. You know,
He did say that in the song.
dries tears with the $100 bills that he probably has just fallen out of his pockets at this point. And we consider ourselves fan of this guy. I like Hardy, but this song, man, it ain't one I'm a fan of. I really thought when I heard it though that I was gonna be like, this song sucks, and you guys are gonna be like, you just don't get it, man. This is the kind of stuff we grew up on. I really thought you guys were gonna say that. So when y'all texted me,
Not
I
even
was like-
remotely
I was like,
accurate.
whoo. I was like, thank God.
I have a question. How did
Oh,
Florida
your
Georgia line?
mic isn't working.
How did Florida Georgia put him on the map?
He a lot of the songs that they put out, he was a co-writer on.
Is that how he got on the map? I thought he got
Yeah.
on the map by opening for Wallen.
No, he was known as a songwriter well before he went on tour with Wallen. Like he had written a lot of the big hits before he went on tour with Wallen.
I know him from his own stuff, not the stuff he's wrote.
Like God's
Like
Country,
Doug.
he wrote that. Like Hardy's been involved in a lot of the big songs on radio. Some good, some not. But he's made a lot of money from the writing for other people. Like that's what he's been known for before he kind of did his own like artist thing. Yeah, Kyle, your mic still ain't working. But anyways, if Kyle's texting us right now, he says that how dare we besmirch this song? He loves it, and he wants everybody to know that this song is the song of the week for Kyle. And he also wants everybody to know that at the end of the show, he's going to say, "Take care, Andy." Isn't that what you're reading?
Oh yeah, I was going to say I was going to do that.
Okay, well, for this episode of Country and Cold Cans, I'm Logan sitting here with Trucker Andy and Kyle. See you next time.
I'm Kyle. Take care, guys.